Okay, hi. So we're going to talk about thoracic mobilization today. Now, the thoracic spine is the upper part of your spine, we'll call it. Okay, so if you think of your spine as having, for these purposes, we'll say two segments: thoracic from here, around here, roughly up to around here, and lumbar from here, roughly down to here. Okay. Now, your lumbar spine is sort of built like blocks, vertebra blocks stacked on top of each other. Okay. Now, these have a few degrees of flexion. Not as much as the thoracic though. This is more of a stabilizing sort of part of our spine. The thoracic is more like blades, and they sit kind of like this on top of each other. And they've got a little gelatinous pad almost like in between each of them to help give support. They have a larger degree of flexion. That's where we get that neck and upper pressing through our spine and our chest. Okay. Now, I'd say the thoracic spine is probably the most common problem I find when I talk to people, I work with people, especially office workers, labourers, anyone who's constantly hunched over, typing at a desk, sitting down, and it's not a very common movement that a lot of us use in our daily lives. So I'm going to show you a few ways that you can open the thoracic spine up. Okay, it's very simple. I have a foam roller. You don't need to use a foam roller. You could have a PVC pipe. You could use a very tightly rolled up towel if you can duct tape it up. Pretty much anything, as long as it provides a solid and safe sort of surface to work on. Now, the whole idea of mobilization is to begin to open up an area to increase the range of motion for better movement. Okay, so first thing with thoracic mobilization, okay, is we're going to get the foam roller or whatever else you're using, PVC pipe, okay, running parallel with our body. Then we're going to sit up on it, so our tailbone is resting on the pipe, and just lying down into this, arms out wide. You can put it at a right angle if you like to open up your upper chest cavity at the same time. If you find, a lot of people will find that they cannot get their elbows all the way down, putting a light weight, like 1 kilo or little rice bags on your elbows will help to start to open up that shoulder girdle and chest cavity as well. Okay, so what we have now is, if I lift my shirt up here, you'll see there's a gap underneath. Okay, it's the upper part of my thoracic and my tailbone, my coccyx. They're the only part touching the foam roller and the base of my neck. I'm just going to relax into this. Okay, you may lay here for 2 to 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, whatever you feel, just relaxing into it. After a couple of minutes, I like to slowly start to move my arms up and down as if I'm making a snow angel. Okay, keeping a slight bend in the elbows as well. Okay, this is going to help to open up some of the musculature around the thoracic, your scapula, and your traps. Okay, what we'll do next is we're going to turn the foam roll around so that we can lean down onto it. Okay, and what we're looking for here is, if I lift my arms up, you can see the shoulder blade right under here. Okay, so shoulder blades come up here. Okay, this is going to be resting just above the foam roller. So sit up on it first, roll down until you feel the foam roller lodge underneath that gap. Okay, underneath that bony ridge. Then you're going to get your hands, interlock your fingers, and place it behind your neck at the base of your skull, not on top of your skull, at the base. Okay. The idea here is we want to provide enough support, but also allow the neck to flexion back. Okay, knees up and bent. Big breath in. Exhale and relax. Let your body weight fall down and just fall into the movement. You'll hit a point eventually where it feels like you hit a block and you can't go any further. Don't force it. Don't try and jar it further. What you're going to do now is take another big breath in and relax one more time. And you'll find that your thoracic opens up even more. Again, you'll hit a block and repeat the process. Big breath in and relax. And follow this pattern until you can get your head all the way down to the floor. Once you've done that, inhale to come back up. Shift the foam roller up your spine by about 1 inch to 2 inches. Okay, and repeat the process again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Shift up, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, you do this, I'd say at least 3-4 times a week. I personally like to perform this after a busy working week, especially in the evenings when I get home. Sometimes I find that my chest is quite tight, so this is a good way to help open that up. Just before I go to bed I'll do it. Other times I do it is before I start training, especially if I'm doing any back rotations, back bends, any sort of trampoline work as well. And it also goes very nicely with any sort of shoulder mobilization. So by that I mean when you start to work on trying to open the shoulder. Okay, the shoulder socket itself is one small part of that range of motion. If you're tight through the thoracic spine and you're tight through your lumbar, you're going to struggle to get a lot of that extension and range of motion that you really could get just from a few simple stretches like that. Okay, so if you haven't got one, I'd recommend getting one. They're not very expensive. You purchase one and ship it to your house for about $40. You can go buy one from a store for about $20. You can buy a PVC pipe. Okay, and they have a multitude of uses, and over time I will cover a lot of them, different fascial releases and muscular tenseness sort of solutions. Okay, so for any of those of dystolic sort of issues with your muscles, I'll show you ways that you can start to open them and incorporate the roller work into your training. Okay, so cheers, bye.